My brother slept with my wife, got her pregnant, and let me raise his kid for years. Then dad cut him off, rewrote the will for about $2 million, and suddenly Caleb missed me. Growing up, Caleb was mom's golden boy. She babied him and defended him on reflex. I was the easy kid, so I got chores and silence. Caleb learned he could hurt me and still be protected. He mocked my glasses. He joined the kids who bullied me at school. He'd sneak into my room, dig through my stuff, then run to mom like I was the problem. When I complained, she'd smile and say, "Boys will be boys." In high school, he tried to set my hair on fire. A lighter, the heat, the smell. Mom called it messing around. Dad finally said, "Enough." He went to my principal, then signed me up for MMA and told me, "Learn to stand up." It worked. The first time Caleb stole my saved chore money, I caught him by his bike and held my hand out. He smirked. "Go cry to daddy." I punched him once, took my money back, and watched him bawl on the driveway. Dad looked at him and said, "You're lucky it ended there." College was freedom. I met Karen, fell hard, and married her after graduation because she was pregnant and her family was strict. I thought I'd escaped Caleb. I thought wrong. I forgave Karen twice after I caught her cheating. I told myself it was about our son. I told myself we could rebuild. Then, 3 months ago, she sat on the edge of our bed and said, calm as weather, "I don't think Henry is yours." My stomach dropped. "Who is it?" She stared at the floor. "Caleb." My mouth went dry. I flashed back to that first Thanksgiving I brought her home, when Caleb suddenly acted polite. I thought he'd matured. He was just shopping. Karen admitted it started back then. A heart-to-heart when I wasn't around. A kiss. A hotel. She said she didn't know who got her pregnant, so she chose the safer option. Me. "You'd be a good dad," she said. Like that made it okay. I packed a bag without yelling. She begged me to fight. "If you love me, you'll try." I said, "I did try. For years." Then I walked out while she cried like she was the victim. The next morning, I went to my parents and told them everything. Mom's first move was denial. Caleb would never. Dad didn't speak. He just pointed at my phone like, "Prove it." So I called Caleb and put him on speaker. Beep. The room went still. Caleb answered like he was doing me a favor. I asked, "Did you sleep with my wife?" He laughed and said, "What kind of question is that?" He denied it for about 10 seconds. Then I said, "Karen confessed." His tone flipped. "She's characterless," he snapped. Then he got cocky. "Women throw themselves at me," he said. "I'm the better looking brother." My mother's face drained. Dad's eyes went cold. Dad took the phone. "You slept with your brother's wife," he said. "You kept doing it. You're cut off." Caleb started blaming Karen, blaming me, blaming anyone he could reach. Dad didn't let him finish. "No more college money," he said. "No more safety net." Then he ended the call like he was slamming a door. The divorce moved fast after that. The paternity test came back, and it felt like paper could bruise. Henry wasn't mine. I sat in my car and stared at my hands until they stopped shaking. Karen begged me to keep visiting, for his sake, but all I could see was Caleb's grin and a child's face. I needed distance to survive. Caleb tried crawling back to my parents first. He cried on their porch and promised he'd changed. Dad wouldn't even let him inside. For once, Caleb couldn't charm his way out. After the dust settled, I moved into a small place and tried to remember how to breathe alone. Then Dad called and said he was rewriting his will. "Everything goes to you," he said. "Caleb gets $1. He sounded tired, not angry. Caleb found out anyway. He couldn't reach our parents, so he came to me. He called, crying, voice cracked, suddenly soft. He said college was falling apart. He said Karen wanted child support. Then he said, "Talk to mom and dad, help me. We can start fresh." I laughed, sharp and ugly. "You didn't want a brother," I said. "You wanted my life." He tried to argue, but I cut him off. "You're not the golden child anymore. You're the guy who slept with his brother's wife and made him raise your kid." Silent, then sobbing. I hung up and stared at my phone like it was poison. Part of me hated hearing him cry. Then I remembered every time mom called cruelty normal. Every time Caleb smirked because he knew he'd get away with it. He finally met consequences. I'm not taking the hit to soften them for him.